Hello everyone, this is class number 5. Who's already did about 5 classes thus far? Right? Woohoo! Awesome! You too. Okay, so today is goal setting, your goal poster, and the weekly plan sheet. So we got a lot to cover in a good amount of time, but we're going to be done by 8. Okay, so please time me. But I just want to kind of do a quick overview. Class 1, we talked about your avenues of income. We went through the starter kit. We talked about from beginning to the end how to conduct a skincare class. That's on video, okay? Class number 2, we talked about money. We talked about the 60-40 split, how to complete a weekly accomplishment sheet, kind of went over the tax breaks. We talked about A1, A2, A3 status, which is important. And we touched a little bit about In Touch. We still need to do that. Class 3, we went over booking. We really dug into booking, talked about coaching your appointments to hold, booking averages, right? Customer service, the 2 + 2 + 2 formula. We talked about the hostess program. Class number 4, effective communication. Positive talk to yourself first, right? Talking to God, right?
Absolutely.
Overcoming objections. And today again is goal setting, goal poster, weekly plan sheet. And so what we're going to do is, before we get started, I just want to do something called crowing. Okay, crowing is when you get to share something, and I want you to share with everyone again, share something, a highlight in your Mary Kay business. Okay, so we'll start with you. Okay, go ahead, Tasha, share.
So I wanted to share that I attended my first project runway this Saturday, and I had 2 guests to attend, and one of my guests will become a consultant. The other guest booked a party. And I also hosted my first pampering party, skincare class that evening, and from there I booked a party. And since Saturday I booked 8 parties.
Wow! Number 8, congratulations! Anyone else want to crow? Anything? $100 day. We have a brand new team member from the Project Runway, Clarissa Fields. Woo! Awesome! So we're so excited, Clarissa. So excited. So I know you're like, what is this all about? And that's why, just be open. Well, for your 8, have a gift for you, because since you're going to have 8 appointments, right?
Yeah.
They're going to become your great customers. Build customer loyalty. Let your customers know they are important to you. Here's some birthday cards you can send now.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so goal setting. The great thing in Mary Kay, there is a huge buffet, ranging from the income, the personal growth, the friendships, the cars, the diamonds, the trips, things that we never really thought about until we became a part of something for women, right? A friend of mine just called me today, Brita Teal. She's a sales director at Mary Kay. We voted her Miss Go Give, which is really the highest award that you can give anyone. And what it's about, she has extended herself so much, not just to her consultants, but to my consultants, us sales directors, just giving of herself. And so we voted for her. So she is Miss Go Give in the Ruby division, because we're in the Ruby division, okay? And you can write down, what does that mean, okay? And her picture is in the Applause magazine, Brita. So excited for her. So make sure you all see the write-up on that. So it's just such a buffet in Mary Kay that when you first become a Mary Kay consultant, especially if you're coming from corporate, it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around it until you go to a really big event. Like Career Conference is coming. We're all going to Atlantic City. That is where you start to say, I'm getting it. And then when you go to seminar in Dallas, Texas, that's when you say, I got it. I understand what it's all about. I understand where dreams come true. I understand these were ordinary women with extraordinary dreams, vision. They started from, I'm not going to say nothing, but they started here, just where I started. But now look at them and look what they're able to do for their families more than the end done some. You know, it's just amazing. And so, in Mary Kay, there are two tracks. Two tracks. There's a sales track, a sales side, okay, selling the product. And then there is a leadership side. Okay, so there are two tracks, sales, the other one is leadership. Now you cannot have leadership side without the sales side, okay? What I'm going to do, and by the time we are done, I want you to write your name on this, and I want you to choose, and things change, and that's the great thing. Some people I know have started Mary Kay say, all I want to do are book orders, and now they're driving Cadillacs. You know, if you could pass these down. By the time we're done, I want you to write your name on it, and I want you to tell me whether you want to focus on the sales side or do you want to focus on the leadership side, which includes the sales side. Because the last thing I want to do, if you came into Mary Kay for the leadership, especially if you're in leadership already, I don't want to treat you like a babe. You know what I mean? Treat you, and not that saying sales side is a bad side, but I want to be able to help you tap into what you already have and you're ready to run. So I'm going to kind of give you the difference between the sales side and the leadership side. WORK. Okay? And so let me kind of talk to you a little bit about the sales side before we get into a lot of things. So the sales side probably will entail about 30 faces. Can you get excited about a $1,500 profit right off the bat, right? I know you got some things you can do with that, whether it's your investments, whether it's fixing up the house, doing some things. I'm sure you can do some great things. So I'm going to give you some different scenarios of how you can make that happen, along with your own variations of how you can do it. You're already on track with your 8 appointments. You can develop that into 30. Okay? It's not that you know 30 people. Okay? It's not that you know 20 people. But what you do is learn how to multiply off of what you do have. For example, if you schedule 10 appointments first, what's the rule? Schedule it first, right? And then extend them to share it with people. So you get the date and time first. Okay? So you schedule 10, so you've got 2 more to go. And then once you schedule them, then say, by the way, how would you like to share this with 2 to 4 of your friends? Okay? And then you may give her like some goodies to share with friends. So right there, with them being 10 and each of them adding 2, that's really 30 faces. Because her plus 2 is 3. You do 10 appointments, like that's 30, right? So you may know 10 people. And as we're training today, I want you all to start jotting down some names, some people, whether they're in state or out of state. Or another way you can do it is 5 scheduled appointments. Sometimes you'll hear me say bookings. It's the same thing. Okay? If you'll ever hear me say a word and you are not really sure, what does she mean? Because sometimes, you know, I can go to your job and you're using all this terminology and I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just smiling, right? And so feel free to ask me, what does it mean? But say 10 appointments, 5 appointments, and each of those 5 share their facial with 4 people. Okay? So you're still going to have close to 30, all right? Calculations may be off a little bit, but that's okay. I graduated in 1982. Okay, I forgot some stuff, okay? But then, what I loved, I always share this story, Lavinda Fitchback, who's one of the sales directors that meets with us at the Hyatt place, she could only do her appointments, and I know a lot of people, but hers is the most recent that I heard, she could only hold her appointments 1 Saturday out of the month because of children, and her husband was deployed, and she worked like 60, 70 hours a week and commuted, she said, like 3 hours a day. So she only had 1 Saturday a month. Now she started Mary Kay for personal use only, to get 50% for herself. But then thinking extra money would not hurt my family, right? And so what she did several time slots at her home. So she did, I think she said 10 or 11, 2, and 6. That's what worked for her. And at each session, she would have individual ladies come. They may not know one another, but then she had those individual ladies to bring friends. And what happened for her, it accumulated throughout the day that she was able to profit about $1,500. So what I loved about it, she took one day, where some people want to take a whole month, she took one day to make that her power day and was able to raise her income. And then next thing you knew, she earned a car just by doing the same thing over and over and over again, then became a director. And she still works a full-time job as a director, still with children in the home, teenagers now, busy schedule, but now she's able to still work strategically, have a full-time income over here and a full-time income over Mary Kay. So she's really building financially. Okay, so a power day for you to do 30 faces may look like this. It may be 4 time slots. You just take one, you say, this Saturday is going to be my power day. Stacy, let's coach, let's work together. Can you kind of coach me through it? And I'm coaching you through it and things like that. Or you may just got it, you got it, right? And so, say for example, 10 o'clock, noon time, 2 o'clock, then 6 o'clock. This is your day that you're staying planted at home, right? Now, 4 time slots where you have people invite about 3 people at each time slot bringing 2 friends. So you bring a friend, you bring 2 friends, you bring 2 friends, you bring 2 friends. So what is that? That is 3, that's 9. Out of 9, and let me just tell you right now, all of them are not going to come. Things happen. But if I invite 9 and I really did a great coaching, I may wind up getting 5. I'm good, right? But 4 time slots with each person bringing 2 guests, that could be your power day. Get your knock your 30 faces out. At a friend of mine, we used to do something called 20/20. She would do 20 faces in one day. She would get it all, send out her reminders, all of that. She did over $2,000 in a day. Or you may do 2 power days. You may say, this is my power weekend. Saturday, I'm going to do some Sunday. I personally don't do a lot on Sundays because of ministry and everything, but you know what? If I'm pressing for a goal, I go to church, praise the Lord, and I bring the Holy Spirit in here, and we do some more faces, right? Mm-hmm. And so, or you may choose every other Saturday. Remember I shared with you all this magazine came in your kit. And Valerie Bagnoff, she started Mary Kay when she came over to this country. Her mom passed away and said, please care for your sisters. She was able to financially support them for their education. And I remember her, she could only do Mary Kay every other weekend because she was a nurse and doing double shifts. But she became a national within 7 years, which is the highest appointed position in Mary Kay. And so you can do a lot in a little bit of time. So you could do 2 power days, and you can do, again, 4 sessions if you want to. 4 on this one, 4 on this one. What you're doing is just building it up. Strategy, strategy, strategy. I'd rather be tired on the Saturday evening because I made over $1,000 versus tired because I had to go to the supermarket. Right? Mm-hmm. All right. And so, and I will, anyone who's as long as you have the product to be equipped for those appointments, I'll join you all day long for your power day. Okay? That is about 30 faces. That is more on the sales end. Okay? But you still can develop into the leadership end with the coaching. Now, if you're like, look, sales is great. I want to teach the skincare, which is my thing. I love teaching the skincare. But I would like to, at my job, I had to beg for a promotion, or pray that a promotion would come and not be up against everyone. And so I like the idea that I can be, somewhat in control of my promoting myself. So yeah, I would like to have a platform inspiring more women. So yes, I would like leadership. Then what I would do, sit down with you and we will strategize for 2 months back to back, do a total of 100 faces. Okay? Where we would either start with 10 faces, or Tasha, like your 8 appointments, you get your 8 appointments to share the appointments with 5 people, right? This month. And then from there, she did an appointment on Saturday and walked away with 8 bookings. So one appointment will lead to new bookings, but really to track that. And so we'll come up with how you want to do it, but it can be done. As long as you don't think you're going to sit there and do 100 individual appointments. It's just not going to work. It's just be a little bit too much, okay? And so we will do that. But so leadership track is 100 faces in 60 days. And then sales track is 30 faces in 30 days. Now, this, and I've probably talked to you about this before, this thing is a gold mine. Just in life, it's a gold mine. A weekly plan sheet. This is not the weekly accomplishment sheet where we track our numbers. This is a weekly plan sheet. And I never forget, when my son, my oldest son, was graduating high school, they were, you know, children, and their last year, they're overwhelmed. They have activities, they have school, you know, the classes, they have college application. There's a lot going on. And so we had to take a weekly plan, a Mary Kay tool, and compartmentalize his life, his schedule. And he said, Mom, that's one of the best things that you could do for me. It really helped him to strategize and break it down. Because sometimes we can be busy. And aren't we, as women, we're busy up in here all day. You wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and you already got what you got to do, you know? And some will pass, can you pass these down? And the thing is that we need to be able to, I think I'm one short. Lynette, do you have one? I can get you one. We need to kind of compartmentalize things. And so with that, that's how you will determine if you want to do, how you're going to determine how you're going to achieve your sales side or your leadership side. Okay? And so with that, what I want to do just real quick, I want you to mark off the times when you cannot go out to do selling appointments. Like for Jackie, she works at the college. There are times that she just cannot hold appointments. It doesn't mean she can't give someone out a business card, but it just means she cannot actually physically do a facial. So go knock off all your work time, Monday through Friday, if that's when you work. You take the, and I'm talking also because of the recording, but you take your weekly plan sheet and you block off all the times in where you are actually working when you cannot hold appointments. But then you may get a little creative like Tanisha did. Since we're here and we're working, doing maybe coffee break or lunch break, I'm going to do a quick handshake. Or I'll send home with you some samples in which you can do tonight. I know a friend of mine, she just did a Skype facial with someone. She gave her the samples of the skincare. She said they did the Skype. She made over $300 at that Skype, you know? You just got to go with the times. And she still shared the opportunity with her. It's just that they were physically not there together, but they were together by Skype. Then you also want to include, when you're doing this, your spiritual time. There are times that, you know, you're very busy. When my husband and I, when I was doing youth ministry for all those years, I was with kids. You know, and I personally don't go to church looking, saying, where can I get business? I was too busy in ministry for that. And so I knew on Sundays, a certain time, I could not hold appointments. And then my children time. You know, and I've learned a lot through the years. You know, when you first start Mary Kay, you're so excited. Ooh, so excited. And then my son was a baby then, so I could just pick up the phone anytime. My phone will always be ringing off the hook, which is a good thing. But then I went through a cycle when they started doing homework, and I found myself answering the phone doing homework. And I'm like, whoa, no. Because I was starting to get like agitated, being there for him. And so I got the phone that had the identa ring. Who remembers that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Y'all too young? Okay. So my phone would ring twice if it was going to the Mary Kay line and ring once, but it was still ringing. And then I wind up getting a separate phone for my Mary Kay. And I kept it in my office where I would not hear it when I'm doing homework. And then, of course, now everything's going to the cell phone. You can make it silent or whatever. So I've gone through the cycles. And I've been in Mary Kay all the stages of my children's lives, from coming out of my stomach to now a young adult, you know. And so I had to, you got to know when to switch up a little bit. I never missed a beat with my business, but I had to equip myself different ways. Okay, but there are times I could not. It was my children's time, even to the point when they got in the car after school, I'll call you back. And I had to learn that, you know. Now they get in the car and they ain't talking to you. They want, you know that. And so, and then you have your family time. There are times, like normally, sometimes you may be able to get me to do something on a Friday, but normally my times not to hold any appointments, but sometimes I will do it based on what's going on. Normally Fridays, you won't get me. You may be able to get me, but really it's not my top choice. Sundays you won't get me. Saturday evenings you won't get me. Normally my cutoff time would be 4 o'clock. That's just me personally. Basically that's it. Basically, that's it. The Mondays you can't get me because you already got me. I'm at the training, you know, facility for you guys. And then once you block off all the times you cannot hold Mary Kay appointments, then we're going to start with one day. Always go one day first when you can hold Mary Kay appointments. So, for example, say that you're on the leadership side, and for 2 months you're going to bring it all together and do 100 faces. So you're going to do 10 appointments and share it with each appointment with 4 people. That's what you're going to shoot for anyway, right? So you'll say, am I going to do it every week? Or am I going to do it every other week? Or I'm going to do it 3 weeks. So then you take, where can you get 10 appointments in a month? Are you going to do first, second, third Saturday of the month? If Saturdays are your day, you don't have to do Mary Kay on Saturdays. A lot of people that I do are, in fact, I'm doing a facial Tuesday during the day. A lot of people are available during the day or during the week. Am I going to do 3 here on this Saturday and 3 on this Saturday? You figure it out, but it can be figured out. And always have a play day for yourself. Always have a play day for yourself. You don't have to spend money on a play day. You can go walking, you can go to the gym, you can go to a movie, you can, you know, just download a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But you take that and you figure out if 10 appointments with 4 people, month 1, and you do it month 2, figure out when you're going to do it. When I get on the phone to schedule my appointments, my calendar is in front of me normally. And if it's not, I know my schedule, because I want to plug her into what's good for me. Even though I'm going to act like I'm doing what's good for her, but she's going to wind up getting into my schedule, you know, but because I know my schedule. And the great thing is with events that your sales director holds, the project runway, now once a month we're going to be going out there again for muffins and makeovers. Your success trainings that we do every other, and since you're over on that side of town, you can go to that one on Tuesdays. They have a great training. You can actually utilize those events to bring people that could be a part of your 30 or 100 faces. If you're already going to be there, grow your business that way. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense. It's like, don't go to church alone. Take somebody with you. Okay? So we'll strategize all of that. Now, Also, as I'm talking, keep writing names of people that you can think about. Wow, you know, I'm not looking, she may not buy, but she will love the experience. Remember we talked about that? We assume, oh, she's not going to buy. We're not worried about that. Just allow her to enjoy the experience. So, that's really about goal setting. We'll do questions at the end. Now let's talk about your goal poster a little bit. What I want you to do, I want you to write down your top 3 purchases that you would love to make. Top 3 purchases. And then I want you to write down your top 3 personal things you would like to obtain. You know, for many of us, starting Mary Kay was confidence. Some people it's more friends. Some people it's a size 4. Put on a dress the other day. I was like, wow, this thing's kind of tight. I'm like, oh, that's a size 4. Let me get that thing off. Okay? Whatever the top 3 personal things you want to gain. Some of the purchases may be, and it may be like eliminate my credit card debt. This is my year of financial freedom. It may be to make an extra payment on my mortgage so I can pay my house off in 14 years, right? Instead of the whole 30 years. Student loan debt. A trip that you all want to take this summer. Is there a big family reunion somewhere on a cruise or something? You know? Or I want to fly my mom in. Or go see my family. That's not a vacation. Okay. But you know what I mean, right? The top 3 purchases. And that's something, we're going to talk about your goal poster in a moment. But I love this story. Lisa Madsen, she's a national sales director in Mary Kay. And if you all read this, and I remember Lisa's story, she's the one that drove to seminar, and she and her husband was so financially, they were broke, but she went to seminar, which is in Dallas, Texas. And if you all know anything about Dallas, it's very hot in Dallas. I mean, very hot. And she said in their car that the flooring was kind of, had holes in it, and they had a window that would not roll down. Okay? Always got to have a story, right? And she was saying when she started her Mary Kay business out of desperation. She was really, her husband was very passionate about, he was a teacher for a Christian school. That's something he really wanted to do, so she was very passionate about that to help him to reach his goals. She personally she dropped out of college twice. And she said she never finding a field of study that she was passionate about. So she worked 2 part-time jobs, okay, which is difficult, right? Then, because she just wanted a foundation, it's amazing how a lipstick or a foundation or whatever can change someone's life. She went there to get a foundation. She said she didn't wear much makeup, but she listened to her beauty consultant who must have wanted to share the opportunity with her. You know, she said, okay, I'll just listen. Don't we just say, I'll just listen, right? I know I'm not going to do it. Right? That was me. And the person was sharing all the perks. She said the only thing she heard was about the money. Okay? She said she signed her agreement, and with a dream to make, she only wanted to make $70 a week. Only $70 a week. I have so many girlfriends in Mary Kay that just wanted to make $50 a week, and then they're millionaires. So the lower money that you want, the more you're going to make. So you're going to make $25 a week, we got you. Okay? In her first week, she sold more products than she could imagine, loving every minute. And then from all of that, 6 months, she recruited one of those friends who told her, you'll never make any money. You all know I had 2 friends that told me, you'll never win a car. They're just telling you that. I never forget. They're just telling you you're going to win a car. And so when they left the house, I said to Carl, you know what they said? He said, don't listen to them. Okay. And what happened was, from all of that, building her business one face at a time, her husband Dan retired at age 42. So he's working with her, right? And they put their children through college, no debt. And if you look at your Applause magazine, which you got one in your kit, everyone should have got theirs today. Lisa's check for the month of November was, just for the month, was $50,256. Just wanting to make an extra 70. You know what's so great about Mary Kay? That's the kind of money that they give. If it makes any sense to you. You know, most companies have a ceiling. They have to. Mary Kay, there's no ceiling. If you do the work, stick in it. When you fall, you just keep getting back up. We do that in anything else in our lives, right? Mm-hmm. And you just keep working at it, keep working at it, keep working at it. That's for everyone. Mary Kay does not say, all the cars I've earned, they never said, well, Stacy, can you wait on your car? Because we can only ship over so many and only manufacture so many. There's no limit. Thank God. You do it, you earn it, you get it. No such thing as a cap. And that's the great thing. So from $70 a week, wanting just $70 a week, now she's providing her family with over $50,000 or more dollars a month. A month. It's sweet. It is so sweet. And so when you are, we want to start, if we don't do that, because I know before Mary Kay, I didn't do vision boards. I didn't even know about vision boards and dream boards and all that kind of great stuff. I just knew at work I was bored. That's just a little plug. Okay. Okay, but this is a great book, Success, Dream Big. How do you picture the life of your dreams? Is it family vacations, independence, more time with those you love? When your daughter starts going to school to the pumpkin patch, you're going to want to be the one there. I was there so many times with my children, and there will be some other children there, and it's cold for whatever reason when we go to the pumpkin patch. And I'm like, their mother didn't even send them with a jacket, you know? Or my son took my nephew to a field trip in New York, and my son's only 25, and my nephew just adores, you know how they adore their big cousin. He said, but Mom, all these children wanted money. Their parents didn't send them with money to buy extra. He said they just wanted money. He ain't all have any money, you know. But I just love that I was able to do all of those things all the time. I didn't have to schedule it, go through my vacation and say, well, I know they're going to have a field trip this day, so I need to take this day off. But if I take this day off, then I got to... Yeah. I didn't have to deal with that. I didn't have to deal with that. So, a goal poster, a vision board, right? Should deal with your faith. Should deal with your family. Should deal with your personal goals. Then deal with your career. So your faith, your family, your personal, and then your career. You all know the core philosophy of Mary Kay is God first, family second, career third. So I've had big posters. I had posters with just scripture on it. Then we created a new poster. It's a little board, but normally they're bigger. And this is mine. So, and something, Mary Kay, we already got it in us, ladies. You know we do. You know that we are fighters. You know that. And we do so much for people. We are there. Who are the people that they call when they need advice? Or need someone to... You. Right? They call us. Our children, our nieces, our nephews, they rely on us. Right? No matter what. But I just think that's so amazing. If we can do that for them with our limitations that we put on ourselves, God wants to do everything for us. But so my scripture, And this is in 1 Peter, by his divine power, God has given us everything we need for living a godly life. We have received all this by coming to know him, the one who called us to himself by the means of his marvelous glory and excellence. And because of his glory and excellence, he has given us great and precious promises. These are the promises that enable you to share his divine nature and escape the world's corruption caused by human desires. By his divine power, we already got it. We already got it, but sometimes we want to put the lid on it. Right? But we already got it, so stop faking. Okay? And so, something about my faith is right here. And then my family, my son goes to St. Paul's. We put 3 children through private school. He only has another year. And what month is it? February, March, April, May. 4 months. I'm starting to count. I'm coming to the glory land. Okay? So, finish his private school. Okay? Also, got some things we want to do to the house. Right? It's nothing like decorating off of Mary Kay money. All right? And then another, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your understanding. Because sometimes things are just not always, all my appointments don't hold. Okay? Every person doesn't join my Mary Kay team. But keep looking at God. He knows what's happening. He has never failed us. Never has God failed us. Right? And so, and then my personal goal, to become a Mary Kay National Sales Director. Right? And then from that, my friends in Mary Kay help you to get in your pink car. Help you to become a sales director. Help you to get in that red jacket. Okay? Help you to reach your goals. So this is just my goal poster. Put your goal poster up. You know? National Sales Director Rebecca Evans, I love her dream book. You know, the back in the day we would have photo albums. And her photo album, she said it's a book that she continues to add to the book. Because you know, the higher ground you go, the bigger your vision. And she showed how she wanted her dream house to look, how she wanted her bedroom to look, how she wanted her kitchen to look. And as time went on through her Mary Kay, she was able to do these things. So she goes back, she's like, wow. Also, she and her husband could not have children, so she wanted to adopt. So she had pictures of how her family would look. Now she has 2 wonderful children. And other things, you may want to do some things for your church, you know, and so you could put a vision, your dream on that. So start creating your dream book, anything that you want, anything, and just keep building on it. While we're here on this earth, let it be rich. You know, let it be rich. So your dream book. And it's great because I'm able to teach my children about their dreams. Sometimes they think bigger than me now, you know. And so I want you to go home. Oh, and also this is the top sales director trip, Rome. And so that is a goal. And so every time I don't want to give out my business card, every time I don't want to get on the phone, guess what? I look at this, I'm like, Rome, get on the phone. And these are the things that you keep in front of you when you don't. I was out today running some errands. I gave, okay, what did I do? I ran into someone at Walmart. Her lashes look great. So she and I talked, and but she, you know, it happens sometimes. She said, had a great conversation. She said, but I love what I'm doing. She said, I tried Mary Kay before, but it just, it did something, whatever. And this is, and I could just tell, I know sometimes I can flip that whole thing, but I don't know whether maybe I didn't feel like it, but I still kept talking to her. Come to find out, she goes to FCF, and she said, I knew you looked familiar. And I said, Reverend Carl? She said, Reverend Carl. And we started talking. It was really great conversation. I still gave her my card, but then I started talking to her about the business. And I said, you know what, because she's approached a lot. I said, that says a lot. So here's my card. Then I ran into someone else that used to be in Mary Kay. that she's thinking about coming back into Mary Kay. And then I ran into someone at Aldi's. I'm always in the market. Her hair just looks so pretty, just looks so healthy. So she and I exchanged cards, and I told her about the Project Runway. So out of 3, right? You know, the thing is, whether you feel like it or not, this is what I feel. And these things don't come by wishing and hoping. Sometimes you kind of take inventory of your prayers. Your prayers almost the same. But God's like, you asked me that for the past 5 years. For the past 5 years. I already got it. Stop asking me though. Right? Stop thanking me for it. Right? And so, have this in front of you. Have this, the thing that drives you to get on the phone. You know, the thing that drives you to go to a success training in 15-degree weather, right? The thing that drives you to go to career conference. Because for some, especially, I understand brand new consultants, career conference, I mean, I wouldn't have to go to Atlantic City, I have to leave my family. You know, I was there. I told the story, did I tell the story that I cried on the plane? Who was I telling this story?
Yes.
My first trip away, we had our son, Carl, and I and little Carl went to the airport. I became a sales director. So when you become a sales director, Mary Kay has you go to Dallas. And it was terrible. I was in tears, you know, saying goodbye to them. And I got on the plane, and thank God the lady next to me did not speak English. So I didn't have to have a conversation. Just smiled, and I leaned up against the window, and I cried myself to sleep. I got to the hotel, and I said, after my husband called me about 5 or 6 times to ask me where something was, I was like, I'm so glad I'm at home. So that took care of that right away, you know. So it is hard to do something different. Clarissa was saying, and I'm so glad, I'm going to share, that, you know, coming here, she said, you know, I don't like driving at night, right, which I understand because I'm there too now. And especially where she doesn't know where she's going. She said, but I said I need to step out of my comfort zone. Right? And so if you want something, just say, Lord, you know, they're talking about career conference. They're saying it's major. Lord, I kind of feel uneasy, you know. If it's your will, please help me to see it. Help me find the way. You know, babysitters, whatever, and he will help you. And it's so great. Sometimes he just answers right away. He's like, oh, now you ask. Okay? So there are going to be things where you will step, and I always talk about your comfort zone is really not comfortable. It doesn't give you a comfortable life. Right? It may help you with so much so-called fears, but 10 years from now, you're like, you know what? I'm still not comfortable. Because I want to stay in my comfort zone. But I guarantee you go to career conference, your eyes are going to be wide open. It is amazing. Amazing. Okay. What I want to do real quick is I want everyone to share what are maybe 2 or 3 things you'll put on your dream poster. Who would like to go first? What do you want to put on your dream poster?
I would like to be national.
Okay, I love it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would like to travel with my family. I want to show my children outside of Maryland. I want to do
awesome.
Yeah, I want to do more with them.
That's good. That's important. It is. You know, because when I was little, my father, we had a great family, had issues, right? But we didn't travel a lot. So then I would go to my aunt and uncle's home who had children my age, and so I got to travel with them, you know, not out of the country, but got to see that life, right? And I tell my children now, I say, you guys are so blessed. They really are. Because of Mary Kay, my travels, we would take them with us, but then also it afforded me the money for us to go on trips. Last year was the first year we did not take a family vacation together. It was a very odd summer. It was the first year. And because of their schedules. They have their own schedule, so we could not get a schedule together. But my son, my oldest son, went to Disney World when he was like 2 or 3. Cause you hear some people say, well, I want to wait for them to get older for them to remember. So, I mean, I still don't remember what I did last year, And then my daughter went when she was still an infant. And then, so they've been to Disney World a lot of times. To the point where they say, do we have to go to Disney World? I'm like, do you know how many children have not been to Disney World? But it is, Mary Kay has afforded us to be able to do that and open my vision to want to do that. And as a national, you'll be traveling a lot. All around the world on Mary Kay's money. Mm-hmm. Mary Kay gives you money when you go on their trips. They give you money to spend. You don't use your own money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they give you money. Yes.
Well, Stacey, you said something just then that really triggered me, and my thing is to just be able to open my vision, mm-hmm. because I guess all my life as a woman, mm-hmm. you put all of your things, well, I'll say I have, mm-hmm. all of my dreams and things on hold,
right.
to make sure everyone else had theirs.
Right.
And this has, from the little session that we had, the runway, mm-hmm. There was a vision, wow. that was seen. And I had never, I'm a sensitive person, okay. had never seen a vision for me.
Praise God.
Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing Mary Kay, mm-hmm. as an opportunity to step into what God already has.
Wow.
Because I've always reserved, mm-hmm. and said, let someone else be blessed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So now I'm beginning to see.
Praise God. Mm-hmm. And you know what? This is the thing, because as women, we want to make sure we don't want to be selfish. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But the vision you have for yourself to grow is the thing that God wants you to do, so she'll get the vision. And then you'll get the vision. And you'll get the vision. You ever hear someone say, I'm the first one to graduate from my family? So they kind of broke that, and then everyone else starts to graduate. I'm the first one to purchase my own home. And right, and then other people. So even though you put a lot into them, which is great, they're going to see a new thing in you. It's going to take them to higher ground. Mm-hmm. That's great. It's that book called The Dream Maker by Bruce Wilkinson. It's a short reading, praise the Lord. Everyone knows I don't like to do a lot of reading.
It's a small book.
It's a small book, and it talks about the ordinary versus the nobody. And you reach your dreams, and God says, now give it back. It's like, give it back. And you reach that dream to give to others.
What is that?
The Dream Maker by Bruce Wilkinson. He's a pastor, right? Yeah, it's a great read. Great read. All right, who else?
Well, one, I want to finish this dang dissertation and get out my
Okay. Okay.
Two, I want to make some improvements to my home. I want to go to Hawaii. I also put on there the red jacket picture, and the car.
Okay. Good. And see, that's great because she has, like everyone, they're personal, but this is your how. So her personal, go to Hawaii, finish her dissertation, right? Which means you're going to need some flexibility towards the end of that, right? You're going to need some time to really put into that. And then money for home improvements. How? Become a red jacket, earn a car. Because with that comes income. All right? Now, the weekly plan sheet is the goal setting, is her plan of action that will develop into those things. It's almost like, I'm a visual person, so if I take like a timeline, here, I'm here, but this is where I want to get. So to get to red jacket, I'm going to do so many faces here. And then to go from red jacket to team leader, I'm so many faces. I didn't have to break it down like that. I can't look, I know where I want to be, but I can't look at I can't focus on the big piece. I gotta say the next step. Let me focus on what I need to do, and then I'll get to the next step. Okay. Who's next? Pat? You knew I was coming to you.
Because I would like to purchase a house, a free car, and travel.
House, free car, and travel. So the car, things we're going to do between now and the car will get you up to that house, you know, and then the travel, okay, which is really cool. And when you do have a purchase, get specific. How much money am I going to need to put down? Because you can say, Stacy, I'm going to need 10 grand to put down. So I'm probably going to say, well, you're so many faces away from doing that. And so we'll break that down in bite size. We'll work on the 30 faces, the 100 faces, but in bite sizes for you to accomplish that. Who was it on Consider the Possibilities? I forgot her name, sales director. She said she started Mary Kay for them to buy their first house. Her husband was a construction worker, but seasonal work. And so really she had to come up the rear to really make the money. So they got a house. But next thing her income raised, they bought another house, and then another house. I love Mary Kay because it is right about a Cinderella life. This is the one thing that we get to be in a pink bubble. A pink bubble where there are things that I do now that I would never have been able to do. There are things, the confidence that I have, I would never have had if it wasn't for Mary Kay. You know?
So your assistant told me to bring pictures.
Yay! Oh, I love her!
Speaking of Disney World, I have that up here because my daughter's 2.5, and I do want to take her
Love
to Disney World.
it. Cool.
I have car on mine because we will need a second car soon.
Yes.
My bigger goals, we just bought a house, so I want to slash 10 years off my mortgage. And we started a college fund for my daughter, but I want to be able to contribute more to that so that she does not have to worry about loans.
I know.
I know.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
a plan. And the thing is, you can create so many plans, but I think you just do focus, just try to shoot for the 100. But break it down where you can wrap your mind around. Don't think 100. Think of 10 classes, 10 people scheduled, and then we'll strategize how to get them to share the facial. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we'll do. Okay, great. Lynette?
I didn't know.
Yes, you're part of it. Share.
Okay, well, this is my goal poster. You can't see it. I blew it up. But I did this when I was 40. And everything has come true on my goal poster. Except for, well, I'll go through it. I'm independent. Starting to travel. Relaxing. I bought my house. I got married. I retired. And so the part that now I'm working on is work for it, and it has director, making friends. This could be the start of something. This could be the start of a beautiful friendship, meaning my team. And so that's the part that I'm working on now. So this is the best goal poster I have ever done. Ever. And this stays up, so I'm gonna get ready to frame it because I still reflect on it because I'm still doing positive changes. I'm doing a second chance. I'm working for it. My dream is to book more, and I weathered the storm. So it's been I'm 48 now. So it's still evolving.
Right.
But I like the idea of having, when you add more goals to it,
Yeah, keep on.
and because it keeps changing.
Isn't that awesome?
Not changing, it keeps adding
Right,
on. So
right.
it's cool, but yeah.
Yes.
And if I can just add, when you know, because even when taking out when I talk about the comfort zone,
Yes.
and a lot of the things, you know, where I am in my life, you know, I mean, this is like, as you say, my ladder will be better than
Yeah.
that I've already come from. So I'm already retired. All of these things I have done in a comfort. living safely.
Yeah.
And Mary Kay, as I said, has given me first, as I spoke about, the vision, but also a means. Because I do, I'm talking about national. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to put
Right.
it all in.
Right.
So, it has never hit me as, the Mary Kay, that the vision now is clear enough. And, it's not, I don't just want to put my feet in the water. I want to go swimming.
Right. Let's dive. I
I
love
want to
it.
go swimming. So
Right.
I'm talking about national now.
Right.
Whatever steps it takes to get
Right.
there, I'm willing to put in what is necessary to get
Right. And life is a process.
there. Right.
And if we look at our past, we've come through a lot of crazy stuff. Where it really could have went really something. And so I think that as we get older, we all have experiences in our life, but because of that, we have now more wisdom, right? And what's the scripture that says, establish your plans in the Lord and you will succeed. So I just want to encourage you to continue writing keep a list. Your dreams will continue to grow and grow and grow. I first started Mary Kay I was a brand new mom, and I really wanted to be home. I wanted that flexibility. Then I needed more flexibility as the other children came. Then we needed the money. Then we had some tax issues. We needed the money. And then my children, the older they got, I needed to be home. Right? Then it became for my husband to go into ministry full time. Then it became my father was sick. It's always another reason. Then of course it's all of you. You wouldn't let me quit Mary Kay. I would never quit Mary Kay. So it just keeps developing, and your dreams will get bigger too. You get your home here, Pat, your nice home, but then you'll say, it's cold in the winter. I need a house in the summer. But in Mary Kay, I remember when my husband wanted to go into ministry full time, only because of the Mary Kay income, we said, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And he's been in ministry for now I think close to 20 years. When my children putting them in private school, let's just do it. You figured, let's just do it. But if I was where I was, I'd be like, this may not work. And so keep dreaming, keep developing, and keep, every day. I'm not a good person at journals, but try to write a list of the things that we're thankful for. Write a list that we're thankful for, and just every time God gives you a vision, and every time you put someone on your heart, call that person. I've learned that. Call that person. Okay? And just, and then also, let's work the plan. Because say you're becoming a national sales director, and you said, by this time I'm going to hit it, but you didn't hit it yet, right? You're still closer to it than you were when you first started. You made more money towards it, right? It's going to happen. Whatever you say you want to do, and you're working toward, it's going to happen. Just be ready for when it does happen. But there's a process. You're learning as you're going. I always tell people, in all the 20, started Mary Kay in 91, became a director in 93. I probably was a horrible director back then. Okay? I'm probably a better leader now, but I probably was horrible. I know I was horrible. All right? So just keep improving, improving, improving. Be open to always learning. Be coachable. Reach up. Reach up. And anytime you hear, I just put something out on one of the Vox groups, like Brooke had another $100-something day. I said, Voxer, ask her, what'd you do to have $100-something day? She just had a $300 facial. What did you do to have a $300? I want to know. I want to know what you had on, what fragrance did you wear. I want to know everything. I want to know. What did you do to get a new recruit? What are you doing? I was on a call with another sales director that's a little younger than me. Okay? And it's awesome I story because she gave 8 years of her life as was she a nurse? Well, she led the entire nursing staff. I don't know what happened, but sure I was recording this, but anyway, her job was eliminated. And at first, she was like, I gave them 8 good years. I mean, some people give 20, 30 years. I gave 8 good years of my life, gave my all. And she said, she was getting married. She said to her fiance, he said, well, what do you want to do? She said, well, I really don't want to do that again. This is what I want to do. He said, okay. So then she called her national. She said, this is the situation. Her national said, well, this is what you need to do. So she did that. Do you know, no, and it happened November 1st. November was her best month ever. Then December was her best December ever in Mary Kay. And talking to her, you can hear, you ever hear someone, how their communication has changed, where you see more confidence, more clarity. It's a different conversation. Different conversation, and how it's coming out is different. But sometimes you need a little shake up. A little shake up, which is scary, but God has you. God told me the other day, he said, Stacy, I got you covered and I'm going to carry you. Okay? Just need a little shake up sometimes for us to put total trust in God instead of always trying to figure it out. We always trying to figure it out for everybody else. Right? Say, Lord, I got this, but I do need your help, but this is how I want you to help me. Okay? Because, you know, but you can hear her conversation. If your conversation has been the same over and over and over and over and over again, nothing's going to change. But if it's something different in how you're communicating, you're going to start seeing a difference. But you got your goals, right? Keep expanding on your goals. When you go to bed tonight, just start writing. Don't be typing. Put the pen to the paper. Lord, this is what I want. No one else needs to see your list. No one needs to, this is your, God already knows it. Don't say, I'm going to write this down, but Lord, I'm so embarrassed. Okay? He's like, you're my child. I already knew it was going to be on the list. Write down everything you want. Keep writing that list because you are God's child. And because you're God's child, all this stuff that we want is normal because of who created us. Right? Didn't you used to go to your parents, Mom, I need $2,000 for this trip that they're doing, right? Now, your mother probably didn't have it. But in your mind, of course, she had it. When my child was young, he said, just go to the bank. I said, just tell me, just go to the bank. Kobe, the youngest child, you know. But if we could do it with our parents, God has it all. The trillions of dollars they talking about, God said $1 trillion. That's nothing. You know? But we always put limit. Lord, I just need an extra 1,000. He's like, that's all I can do for you. So just write your list. Everything that you want. And then we're going to go over your plan. You're going to write down, you want the sales track or you want to go for the leaders track. And that will help me to know how to work with you and you know what to track with you and break it down, and you'll go home and figure this out. You know, I'm a one step at a time person. I don't take slow steps, but I'm just a one step at a time person. Okay? And so next thing you know, I'll be at a new consultant training a few years from now, and I'll be like, and yeah, and so she had a child when she first started, and she did this, but now Tanisha Fitz's check was over $67,904.
Beat that. Thank you, God.
Okay, all she wanted to do was go to Disney World. Okay. Any questions? No? Okay, great. So what did you gain from this training tonight?
Confidence.
Confidence. Yes. No, you can do it. You can do it. So the next training is class 6. That's what we're really going to dig in. We're going to go over the career path. What the career path is, how to go from here to here to here to here. We'll talk a little bit about team building, the national courts. I've seen people start Mary Kay in April. Our seminar year is from July 1 of 2015 to June 30th, 2016. We don't have a fiscal year. July 1 to June 30th. I've seen people start in April who are in the Queen's Court of Sales of 42,000. And you're like, wow. Yes. Yes. And we're talking about the STAR Consultant Program. Something I want to give you all though. And this is something you can use if you have already started yourself. But as a new consultant, your first steps. Keep this because you're going to have new consultants on your team. So it talks about their 15 free beauty books, getting their website, ordering your business cards, and about ProPay. Okay, basic things. And then something else that I'm so glad I got this. I used to have it, then I lost it. You know, when you want something big, sometimes what can hinder you, the smart thing to do is to invest in what you want. So these are different resources that you can go to invest in your inventory. I always talk about Cheryl Warfield. Remember Cheryl Warfield?
Mm-hmm.
She just retired.
Is she?
Just retired. When you become a national sales director, you can retire at 65 or you can add another year or so. She just retired. She talked about when she first started Mary Kay. It was so funny. Let me see her story. When she first started Mary Kay, her husband said, he didn't think she would do well. And she went in the bathroom. She had a temper tantrum and all of that. Anyway, she applied for a loan. They denied her because she was not going to go to him. She applied for another loan. I think after her 5th attempt, she got approved. And then she said, I embezzled my money. And then after that, she applied for another one. But anyway, Cheryl Warfield, multi-millionaire in Mary Kay. Not how you start, how you finish. Anyway, she retired her husband. I'll never forget, they moved to their new home, and they went to a neighborhood thing. And they said, so, what does your husband do? She said, well, my husband stays home. She said, but I'm a national sales director with Mary Kay. Okay. Isn't that awesome? So I'll pass this around. Okay. And I'm going to stop the recording. Can you do that?